Hey, good morning, Facebook. It's Gerry coming to you again from Rhythmia in Guanacaste. I want to talk a quick bit about Rhythmia and then I'll get right through it. But Rhythmia is a plant-based spiritual center that it's actually a life advancement center that believes in the remerging of the soul. This way of looking at it has made us the #1 resort of any type in the world on TripAdvisor. We have a 95.12% miracle rate, which means 951 out of every 1,000 people electronically state that they get a miracle. The cool part of this is that 6 months later, they're given another survey and 97.55% of them say this was the week that changed their life and that the miracle that they got is still with them. Crazy stuff. Over the past few months, I've made some predictions. I want to go over them with you. On March 24th, I predicted a 17% infection rate for COVID and a death rate of 0.26 to 0.56. At that time, everybody was thinking an 8 or 10% death rate. On March 24th, I also predicted a new prediction that as soon as this is over, sometime between November and December, we will have the beginning of a period very much like the Roaring 20s. Very, very much like the Roaring 20s. I predicted that. Now, last week I made another prediction. As August 23rd, I made another prediction that the end of new infections in the United States will occur between September 26th and October 6th. And the end of new deaths in the United States will arrive between October 1st and October 21st. I'm a chart guy, and I tell you, I'm really, really close with this. Let's see what happens. What's interesting to me is that because of plant medicine, I'm forced to tell the truth. That's what one of the things plant medicine does. I can't for the life of me, unless it's just timing issues, understand why the Democrats have not done it. I do understand that. But I don't understand why the Republicans are not pasting this all over the news. So both groups have something in keeping this news on ice until probably right before the elections would be my guess. That's just an opinion. Now, I want to talk about Rhythmia, about us, about our heart, and about what's going on. I'm going to ask you guys to share this because this contains a lot of good information. And I want to tell you, last week I said something. I said, after I did plant medicine, I was more confused than I was before. But I was happier, more content, and more centered. What is that? What is that all about? Well, I'm going to tell you because I got 3 emails just about that thing this week. And every week I get about, a couple hundred emails. But 3 of them really were long about this very statement that I made. So what does it mean? Well, it depends how we approach plant medicine. And when I talk about this, it's going to seem like I'm talking about something very long, but it could be one half of one journey. But in our addressing plant medicine, initially, when we're seeking answers, what it shows us is strange things that are brand new to us, but somehow we already knew them. And it shows us a lot of times about solar systems and planets and planes and how you're all made up of stars, how you all come from different places. Like there are certain planes and this and that. It's super interesting stuff. Past life stuff, how the universe works. Crazy stuff. And then after you're all through this and you think you know it all, it shows you that this is just one universe and how the tens of thousands of universe, and all of a sudden and this happens to everybody at some point with plant medicine, you actually stop looking for the answers because there's some strange part of you that knew this all anyway, and you start looking at what it's saying. So there's 2 different things. So when you look at something about what it's saying, you look from your heart, and then it gets interesting. At that moment, that's when the merger occurs. That's when the answers happen. And the takeaway of it is this. All of those solar systems, all of these planets, all of these dimensions, all that shit is in you. All of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, it's all in you. And all of it is happening at this second. All of the sparks, all of the energy, all of the shit, all of the beauty is happening at this second. And all we have to do is love it. Here's the craziest thing. All we have to do is love it. There is nothing above that. This is what makes life rich. When you challenge yourself to be better at whatever you're doing, and at the same time, you love exactly where you are. Now, here's where it's going to talk about some other stuff. You know, when I first did the plant medicine, I thought, oh my God, I'm supposed to be like, this enlightened being that's supposed to know all this shit. And then the medicine showed me, and she actually showed me Muji and Jesus and the Buddha. And they're very rare. And they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And my job is to do what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not an enlightened character. I'm like a very, 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 very down-to-earth guy. Okay? So what do I mean that I'm a down-to-earth? Well, I'm an earthly being doing a celestial job. There are shaman and people that are really holy, what I'm going to call holy, that come here. And they're actually very, very, very celestial. They just happen to be touching down here and there. We're all different. You have to stop trying to be them. Once you're trying to be someone else, that whole thing disintegrates. All the lessons of the medicine are gone. Gone. But the moment you turn back to being you, that's when the whole thing happens. That's the magic, the sparks, the energy of this very moment. All of this that's going on, me, you, and everybody else who's connected in this field are making this magic at this very, very second. That's the gift of the medicine. That's the lesson that has to be shared, right? The medicine's greatest gift is to allow us to love ourselves. There is nothing higher. Now I'm going to tell you something crazy. The mother showed me that she gives us happiness equality. It's the only equality that we have. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm either faster or slower than you. I'm either smarter or dumber than you. I'm either or smarter or less smart. I'm either as attractive, more attractive, or not as attractive as you. I'm either, I either speak better French or worse French or no French than you. Everything is all over the thing. This is the tapestry of life. But what we have that is equal is our soul and happiness equality. What's happiness equality? It's the ability, the decision to become content, the decision to be fulfilled, the decision to be a part of everything. That's our equality. I'm going to tell you something. I saw something when I was younger and the war was in Sarajevo. I saw kids laughing and playing with bombs going off and crazy shit. And I thought, how could they do that? And I saw a mother looking at this and smiling and laughing. And I thought, how can that be? Don't they know what's going on? You know what? That proves it's happiness equality. We all, regardless of the situation that we put ourselves in, watch what I said, regardless of the situation that we put ourselves in, or the perception of someone else putting us there, we have the right to be happy in it, in the moment, in this thing. All the universe, all the starseed, all the energy is happening in this very second. Now you've heard it before. I'm going to ask you to feel it. So once you get this, then what do you start doing? You start focusing on the shit that makes it exciting. The stuff that moves you. And it always comes down to love. And the first love it comes down to is love of self. That means leave yourself the fuck alone. That means so first thing you want to do your analysis, do your research, do your self-searching. And then when you get to it, leave yourself alone and join the fun. Get in this space of being. Now, the one thing I can tell you is this. By enjoying our situation with self-love, we get everything. There is no need to envy anyone. And I'm going to tell you about this. We all are under the impression, because we think that Bill Gates is happier than us because he is so much more than us. It's a lie. It's not true. We think that our neighbor, who looks like the prettiest person in the world, is much happier than us. And it's absolutely, positively not true. We think of the guy with all the money as being happier than us, and it's absolutely, positively not true. We have the right in this moment to choose happiness. And when I say happiness, I'm not talking about the ecstasy of immediate gratification. I'm not talking about having sex 60 times a day. I'm not talking about doing lines of cocaine and drinking alcohol. I'm not talking about buying new things every 3 minutes until you're there. I'm talking about fulfillment. And how do we get there? Well, we get there through love. We get there through love. We get there through love, and this is the great awakening of love. So it looks like, so here's one way I can absolutely, positively assure you, you cannot get there. You can't complain your fucking way out of it. You can't. You cannot complain your way out of it. You can't finger point your way out of it. Impossible. It's impossible. But what you can do is you can choose. And I choose to be me. With all of my bullshit and all of my craziness, all of my baggage, all of my history that's terrible, I choose to be me. I choose to be me. I'm doing the work. I'm looking at myself. I choose to be me. A unique fucking brand. Your unique fucking brand. Choose to be you in this moment. And you know what? Let everything else go. Now all of a sudden, what happens? Your short list of shit that turns you on. And I don't care if it's building rockets or airplanes or fucking whatever. Usually it has to do with the love of yourself and the expression of the love of others. Usually through taking care of others in a strange way. Usually. Now, what does that mean? The medicine sometimes calls us to be Muji. The medicine, the mother, sometimes calls us to be Muji. The medicine sometimes calls us to be a Beckwith. But the medicine always calls us to love. Always. So who's really going to make the difference? And what I mean by this is this: nothing against Muji. God, he's one of the most beautiful souls I ever saw. But you know who's going to make the difference? The mother. Well, Muji is, yeah. But an equal difference. The mother, the father, the sister, the brother, the lover, the son, the daughter, the neighborhood person, the person in the neighborhood, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, all of the people who are called under this club, whatever this club is, this club of awakening, not wokeness, because wokeness, I'm going to get into that in a second, but wokeness is a dogma. And this is not. This is choice. This is choice. Truth, beauty, creativity, fact, love. These are the things. This is the choice. Yeah? So this is my choice. And the first of that, you know, I always think the medicine is always going to tell every investment banker to not do it anymore. And that is such a shit lie of the investment bankers, and I get a shit ton of them. that's a scientific term for a lot. I had a lot of them who come through the doors, and 99% of the time it tells them to do their job with more love, with more kindness, with more understanding, to be a better husband, a better father, a better mother, a better grandmother, a better grandson, this is the thing, a better community person. And I got to tell you what, we're going to go back to the pointing. All of a sudden, I can make this whole fucking thing go away. The whole mess, the whole Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, Flat Earthers, Round Earthers, Democrats, Republicans. I can do it by doing this. That's all they got to do. Everybody has to do this and then accept who they are and love who they are. So once you accept it and love it, it's really hard to be pissed at someone because they believe in a different ideology than you. It's really hard they believe in a different system of economics than you. They believe in a different social system than you. It doesn't fucking matter. Once you turn to love, none of it matters. And all of it goes away like a fly on the wall. It all goes away. The longer we continue to complain our way out, thinking in some ridiculous way that our complaint is going to relieve our suffering, is the most craziest stuff, because we live in the best times ever. There has never been a better time to live. So what does the mother think of all this, right? And I can't speak for her, right? I can't speak for her, but I know how she is. I've been there enough that I know how she feels. And this is the thing. If we don't want to fall into behavioral sink, so what is that? Let's start with that. She does not want us to fall into behavioral sink, into the creation of a utopia where there is reward without effort, where there is expertise without toil. That is not true shit. That is not true shit. So what does she want us to do? To be honest about the history of the world and to realize that we're living in unprecedented times of abundance, of opportunity, of equality. It's never been this equal, and it's getting more equal. Perfect time to live in gratitude. I am grateful that I have the ability to breathe. How could those, if you take a look at the war-torn parts of Africa, if you take a look at Sarajevo in the day, how could they be thankful for anything? They're getting bombed. You know how? They're living in love. And they have, whether it's 10 minutes before they get killed, or 10 days, or 10 years, or 100 years, they're appreciating that moment of joy. Gratitude. What does the mother want from us? Gratitude. Does that sound fucked up? What kind of a God would want us to be grateful to them? The kind that wants us happy. So here's the thing. Gratitude, not for the mother. It's not to her benefit. It's to ours. To sit in being grateful for everything that's going on. I want to tell you what, I don't want to complain, I don't want to finger point, but I'm grateful that all this is going on, because this is a ceremony. This is a new beginning. This will result in a return to love. For 5% of the people, 1 out of 20, maybe even less, but it won't matter, because together we're going to do this thing. We're going to love this thing. We're going to love our way. We're going to love the world out. And how do we do it? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. It's the only way. You eat an elephant, same way you eat anything else. It's a big job. How do we do it? We start with our children, our parents, our sisters, our brothers, our partners, our business people, our fellow employees, our employers, our all of this we're starting with. by loving me and allowing, not you loving me, but by my love of me, my allowing me to be my own brand, to live in truth as I see it, by allowing this, me allowing this to occur, I in turn allow my brothers to be their own brand, my employees to be their own brand, my employers to be their own brand. And guess what we can get done as a community? Fucking everything. Because our differences are our strengths. Our differences are our strengths. Yeah, and that is the truth. So great to be alive, so happy to be a part of this, and I want you to be happy to be a part of it too. So the gift of, or this all, I'm gonna wrap this up. This lands where it begun. The gift of plant medicine is not in the answers. It's not fucking in the answers. It's not who's gonna win the 5th race at Aqueduct. That's not it. The beauty of plant medicine is in the awareness, not the answers, not how it works and why it works and what's going on. The beauty of it is in the awareness. And what awareness is that? It's the awareness of love, the awareness of what makes me happy, and the awareness of self-love. Now all of a sudden you get that stuff cooking, and you're no longer saying, I want to be a Muji, I want to be a Mother Teresa, I want to be a Jesus Christ. By the way, you're all Jesus Christ, right? But not wanting to live that life. I'm cool with my life. I love what I do. I love golf. I love to go to the beach. I love golf. I'm cool with it. I love helping people. Am I going to wear beads and all that shit? No, because it ain't me. I'm a regular guy. I wrote it and I wanted to say it because it's just so true. I work, and this is the truth, I work with some of the most spiritual people in the world, but I'm a very earthly person. I'm an earthly person doing an earthly job for a celestial initiative. But my joy comes from being here. I love to do plant medicine, get wackadoodled and get to see crazy stuff, which I see all the time. I even know from a distance when I look at someone what plane they're from. Oh, they're the red planet, they're the blue planet. It's not hard because they're red or blue. But anyway, you can get all this stuff and it's cool, but my buzz, my juice, and your juice will come from being here. From being here, from looking in your kids' eyes. Once you're cool with you, then everything else turns beautiful. And this is the lesson. And anybody who says this is not the lesson is not getting it. So my thing today is, if we can, to stop complaining. To stop complaining and to be in gratitude. It's really hard to complain for 3 hours and sit down and thank fucking God for the gifts. It's really hard. I hate this. I hate this system. I hate these people. I hate this. I hate the news. I hate the weather. I hate the thing. I don't like my neighbor. But thank you, God, for all you've given me. Does not work. It doesn't work. Either you're thankful for it or you're not. And either you're thankful for this life or you're not. And if you're not, go do medicine. Come here. And I guarantee you this, you come here for a week, when you leave, you're going to be so thankful for every single breath that goes in and out. Every single breath, every single challenge at the job. Oh shit, the fucking refrigerator broke again. I love refrigerators that break. Because you're going to be so happy to be alive. So happy to be alive. And from that, so this is how this works, right? So we get happy with that. We get happy with ourselves. We've isolated the things that continually feed our happiness, and we focus on that. And next thing you know, we're content. What a great place. I lived my life, 52 years of the most uncontented, I don't know, and I tell you this, I don't know an unhappier person who lived. I knew less happy people and they whacked themselves. I don't know a more unhappy person who lived. And God, I'm having a good time. I mean, the challenges of all this are here, but holy shit, am I having a good time. I'm in it. I'm really in it. And I invite you to get in it too. Okay? So come and visit us at Rhythmia. Come see us here. I really, really, really want you to come here. And when are we going to open? As soon as we get the green light, we're there. And you're going to enjoy the heck out of this. And you're going to join us in this worldwide thing of love. Until next week, I see you guys. Love you. Cheers.